What's good, everyone? It's the Five Out Podcast. It's your favorite starting five. Everyone say what's up.
What's
What's
good?
up,
What's
yo?
good?
What's up,
What's good?
yo?
What's
Goody,
up,
what's goody, what's
What's up?
goody?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, so for today's topic, it's been 3 weeks into the NBA, so we're just gonna be mentioning our favorite performers or performances that have happened recently. I'll start it off. I'm gonna talk about DeMar DeRozan from the Chicago Bulls. So that man, he's he's making his case for an MVP caliber player. Honestly, he's putting up amazing numbers. He's putting up really good numbers. He's putting up 26.8 points average so far. He's averaging 50% from field goal, 42% from three-pointers, 87% from free throws. He's also averaging 5.9 rebounds, 3.7 assists. Honestly, I would say he's definitely the leader on the Chicago Bulls, and he's one of the main reasons as to why they're so successful so far in the season. Shout out to Tykes with his suggestion of or his opinion on Chicago being one of the best East teams in the league in the season. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on Demar?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. DeMar DeRozan. I'm not sure about MVP. I don't know about that. I think that's a
I think he's
discussion.
top five. I think he's top five.
Oh,
I
top five
who
for sure. I can get on that.
top five, top five. That's a race. That's an MVP race. If it's your top five, you're in the MVP race.
Top
I
five,
think
top five, top
I
five.
think he's definitely making his case. But again, the Bulls. I expected the Bulls to be a good regular season team, but again, I'm just not that impressed. I don't know. I just need to see it all come together in the playoffs. But no,
It's like this.
I agree. That's what it's all about, right? So it's all about the playoffs. This honestly doesn't really matter. It doesn't. If you're a second round exit, no one's gonna talk about this season. No one's really gonna talk about you. But no, DeMar, as a Raptor fan, it's good to see him doing well in Chicago for sure.
Yeah, no, it almost seems like a resurgence in his career. As John was saying, I think these are the best numbers of his career, across the board. He's shooting more efficient from the field, scoring just as much points as I think the season he left Toronto or the year before that. And, he's definitely, adjusted to his team very well. And I think his game and, a lot of the other players they brought on are translating directly to win. So it's good to see that.
No, I just want to give just shout out to the Chicago Bulls in general. Maybe not just DeMar, but obviously Lonzo, obviously Zach, obviously Vucevic, and even Cruz off the bench. Like the whole team is playing well, and obviously we want to see them succeed. But like Philip said, it's just a regular season. They would have to show it in this year's playoffs. But I think moving on from DeMar DeRozan, my favorite performer from these first few weeks is no other than Paul George of the LA Clippers. Paul George averaging he's averaging what 27, 8 and 5 right now. And it just shows Paul George he's obviously known for having an amazing regular season, and his playoffs are not really playoff P, right? Not really the greatest, obviously. So regular season obviously doesn't matter, but he is carrying the load for them as of right now with Kawhi being injured and Kawhi not playing. He Paul George is looking like could be, if he continues this MVP race also as well, or maybe even scoring champ this year, right? The way he's scoring, the efficiency he's playing at, and it just in general, just Paul George he's always been a regular season demon. He's always been top of the top when it comes to shooting guard small forwards in this league, and it just keeps on showing every year, once a year after year. So yeah.
I mean, the thing that's impressing me with him, if you watch the games, he's doing everything for the Clippers. And I think the most impressive thing is that he was leading the league in steals up until like a couple days ago. I think Gary Trent is not the league leader, but again, he's doing it on both ends. He's doing it on both ends. But I think he's definitely in the MVP race. He just won Western Conference Player of the Week. So if he keeps this going, keeps the Clippers on the right track, and Kawhi comes back, the Clippers can be a tough out if they're like a lower seed.
Definitely. Yeah, I think, PG has like that reputation, especially the last couple of years, that he's not that good. Playoff P, pandemic P. But he knows how to hoop both sides of the court, right? And I think he's showing that right now. A lot of people say he gets carried by Kawhi, or he's a much less second. But I think we can definitely see why Kawhi wanted to play with Paul George, right? Like why he came to the Clippers. So shout out PG. Hopefully, we can continue to see that type of play out of them. And as you guys said, they're going to be a sneaky low seed because Kawhi's hopefully going to come back soon too.
For sure, play in.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And before we move on to John's opinion on Paul George, I mean, I think all that playoff P stuff went away last year. I mean, last year, him against, I mean, I don't think anyone expected them to get to the Western Conference Finals with no Kawhi. They beat a really good Utah Jazz team, and they battled really hard with the Phoenix Suns, and Paul George was having some of the best playoff games of his career. So I think, hopefully he does it again this year, so we can just get that pandemic P, all that stuff, out of here. But I think it would be very disrespectful to not mention a career high performance that happened yesterday, and that was Ricky Rubio, who put up a career high 37 points. Also put up 10 assists on 8 of 9 from 3. He was perfect, 8 of 8 from the 3-point line. And Colin Sexton, we talked about his injury. So now Rubio is going to get a lot of that run now with Darius Garland in the backcourt. So he's going to be very, very good for that Cleveland team. That veteran that keeps all those young guys in check. So I expect Rubio to actually, maintain this performance.
I agree, because I noticed Rubio, his stats really picked up a lot when Darius Garland was injured, and obviously it went down once he came back. But now that Sexton is out, I am expecting a lot from Rubio, because I can see those numbers going right back up. And just from the other day, 37 points and 10 assists, 8 for 9 from 3. Like that's crazy. I remember I used to hear his name all the time back in the day. He's like, oh, he's crazy. He's like Rondo. His passing is crazy. And then he kind of went under the radar for a while, because he went to other teams. He kept getting traded, and it was just no one really mentioned him a lot. But now, hey, it's picking back up, due to that performance the other day, and I'm actually kind of glad to see his name popping up again.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, well, moving forward, I think some I got to mention would be the Jarret Allen. What can I say? Double machine. He's the big man on Cleveland, and of course, with the players coming back and the Colin injury, what's there to say? He's gonna have to increase his role as a leader. One of the leaders on the team, and hopefully, he continues to play. He is scoring with high efficiency, over 50%, and he is, you see, he gets more than 10 rebounds a game as of late. Blocks are there, the steals are there, assists are also there, surprisingly, and not too many turnovers. 1 or 2 a game. It's very nice to see. Very exciting future for that guy, for sure.
I just want to touch upon that. And I think the success Jarret Allen is having is because of the guards on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel like Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio are facilitating the ball very, very well, as to why Evan Mobley and Jarret Allen are having the success they are, right? Obviously, Jarret Allen is not getting the ball top of the key, dribbling, crossing everyone, and dunking the ball. No. It's the pick and rolls with Darius Garland, the Ricky Rubio. Those guys can actually facilitate the ball and make their teammates better, and that's why Cleveland's looking really good right now with the players that they have with Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio at the point. So I just want to give shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers guards for making their bigs obviously look amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it became almost like a meme that Cleveland only gets power forwards and centers. Because obviously they're stockpiled on good quality bigs, but I think definitely the guards that they have are quality and are doing their job for their team, and that's why we see them with a nice record and making noise in the East for sure.
Yeah, even though Scotty Barnes embarrassed him the other day. Congrats to him on winning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. I mean, he's great, but he's a great defender. But imagine if he develops that Rudy Gobert presence in there.
Mhm.
You know, he can be an elite defender if he just, I mean, Rudy Gobert, that's a tall task, right? He's one of the best defenders we've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But Josh, who has impressed you over these last
Yeah.
couple weeks?
No, definitely. Love to give shout out to a Toronto player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Sorry about that. You know, he's been playing out of his mind. He had a really good game against the Lakers where he essentially called game.
Mhm.
Every game he's been showing that he's on that level. I think he's definitely on a season where he's trying to prove that he's an all NBA type of player. A last couple of games he had a 28-point night, a couple 28-point nights, 30-point easy a game for him against the Warriors. But as I mentioned, if you want to be on that level of all NBA, it has to translate to wins, right? So they're currently on like a 2-game winning streak, and it's good to see. But I think if you can continue his play like this and translate that to wins, it would definitely be a great thing to see. And I think we'll definitely have to put him in a higher conversation than he is right now.
Mhm. I just want to give credit to him because ever since he entered the league, he improved every single year
Yep.
in all categories. And look at him now. He's a guard that everyone would want on their team, averaging 22, 5, and 4 as of right now.
Yep.
Right? And just the fact that he can do it all, score the basketball, shoot the ball, facilitate. He's a rebounding guard. He's a tall guard, right? It's a sight to see when a kid from Toronto is in the NBA and he's flourishing. So I just wanted just to give him credit because he's improving every single year he's in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's almost in that conversation, one of the best Toronto players, so or Canadian players at that. So hopefully he can continue that, put us on the map a little more, and we would love to see him winning some basketball games, maybe even come to Toronto. Who knows?
Mhm.
Oh, I would love that. And I think one thing I want to say about him is that I think 2 of the OKC wins this year have been against the Lakers. So I think when the lights are brightest, I think that's when he shows his most impressive moves. So I'm very excited for his future. I'm glad that he's showing in the league what he's capable of. I think we all knew, we're all from Toronto, so we've been keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's starting to get the recognition that he deserves.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's showing out, like those wins against the Lakers. Like Lakers aren't very good, so like I wouldn't say like they're that impressive, but like I could definitely see Shai becoming an all-star in the next year or this year even. He can become an all-star for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. Regardless of that terrible take, I do agree with that second half of what you said. Yeah, Shea will be good, and let's see what happens, right?
No doubt.
But I think we are all okay with that, and I think
Yeah.
we are going to end that video there. We would just like to thank everyone for tuning in, and make sure you hit the sub button, hit the like button, follow all our socials, and follow our personal. I mean, turn us up, right?
Turn us up.
Turn us up. Tell phone a friend. Tell everyone what's up. But yeah, it's 5 Out Podcast. It's your favorite starting 5, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.